Afternoon, everyone. This is our weekly business meeting. It is May 9th, 2023. The time is 2:01 p.m. I'm calling this meeting to order. In attendance are Commissioners Brooks, Matari, and Duncan. And if you would please join me in a moment of silence. All right, and now for the pledge, Lieutenant Ellis.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, thank you. Are there any changes to the agenda? Okay, I just have one polling item, number 7. There was just a couple corrections, I think, that have been taken care of, but we'll have to put it on for next week. And so I would take a motion to approve all the other meeting minutes.
I move that we approve the meeting minutes, items 1 through 8, less item 7.
I second the motion.
Bill Brooks,
Aye.
Commissioner Matari,
Aye.
Chair Duncan,
Aye. All right, motion passes. And consent calendar, please.
I move that we approve the consent.
Bill,
calendar.
your mic is not. Your mic is
Your mic.
Oh, I'm sorry. There. I move that we approve the consent calendar, items 9 through 17.
I second the motion.
Bill Brooks,
Aye.
Commissioner Matari,
Aye.
Chair Duncan.
Aye. All right, motion carries. And payables list.
I move that we approve the payables list for May 1 through 5, 2023 in the amount of $1,209,122.14 plus $3,349.58 in jury panel payments.
I second the motion.
Bill Brooks,
Aye.
Commissioner Matari,
Aye.
Chair Duncan.
Aye, motion passes. Item 19, Kootenai County CLFRF Subaward Agreement, and this is for Wellsprings Meadows, Inc., and our Resource Management Office. Caitlin, you're on the line?
Yes, Caitlin Smith for the record. This is the agreement between Kootenai County and Wellspring Meadows, Inc. for the subaward of $332,640 of American Rescue Plan Act funds. This subaward will fund a COVID-responsive premium pay program for caregivers employed by Wellspring Meadows in the form of sign-on and retention bonuses.
All right, questions or motion?
I move that we approve Kootenai County CLFRF subaward agreement with Wellsprings Meadows, Inc. and the RMO.
I second the motion.
Bill Brooks,
Aye.
Commissioner Matari,
Aye.
Chair Duncan.
Aye. All right, motion passes. Item 20, Amendment Number 1 to Professional Services Agreement with TO Engineers and our airport. Kim, are you handling this, or is it Phil?
No, this is Phil, Commissioner, Phil Cummings from the airport. This is pretty much housekeeping. It doesn't affect our contract. There have been some changes with the FAA guidelines. It's revisions to federally mandated contract provisions. And it's just an update the FAA instituted March 20, 2023. We recommend that we sign and move forward with these changes. And again, it doesn't affect the amount of our contract or the scope. It's just merely housekeeping.
Phil, do you know exactly what was changed? Because it has a lot of things, like 15 through 21 and then 31, 32. So there's language in all of those paragraphs that changed?
Right. To replace the following federally mandated contract provision, it's Civil Rights, Clean Air Act, Contract Worker Safety Standards.
Gotcha. Okay, thank you. Any other questions? Motion.
No questions. I move that we approve Amendment Number 1 to the Professional Services Agreement with TO Engineers and the airport.
I second the motion.
Bill Brooks,
Aye.
Commissioner Matari,
Aye.
Chair Duncan.
Aye. All right, motion passes. Item 21, work order approval for AIP 055 runway 624 rehab with TO Engineers. And is this Phil again or Kim?
No, Kim Stevenson for the record. And this is a work order presenting the scope of work for the construction portion of the grant, and provided that once the funding is awarded, it will be 90% reimbursed from the FAA, with 5% from the state, 5% from the county. And since it's pavement, it is fairly heavily weighted on the time side for folks. TO is going to have 2 full-time people, and then it'll require a lot of work from Strata as well to maintain pavement quality.
All right. And the state's already agreed to their 5%?
Yes.
Okay, questions? Motion?
I move that we approve work order for AIP 055-runway 6/24 rehab with TO Engineers in the airport.
I second the motion.
Bill Brooks,
Aye.
Commissioner Matari,
Aye.
Chair Duncan.
Aye. All right, motion passes. Item 22, development and ground lease AAL 2022-2000, and this is Hangar Development, T Hangar Hayden LLC. Kim?
Kim Stevenson again for the record. This lease is for T-Hanger construction. We have 2 lots that were still available, and we'll take care of both of them today to put in. This one will put in T-Hangers. It is $7,234.68 of annual revenue, and the square footage is 50,949. And after year 1, the rent will go to $14,469.51 annually.
All right, questions, motion?
Should we do both of these?
No, they're separate.
They're separate?
Yeah, it's not like a,
Okay.
yeah.
All right, I move that we approve the development and ground lease AAL-2022-2000 for T Hangar Hayden LLC.
I second the motion.
Bill Brooks,
Aye.
Commissioner Matari,
Aye.
Chair Duncan.
Aye. All right, motion carries. I know they look very similar. Development and ground lease AAL 2022-1900, and this is also Hangar Development, and this is with Hangar Town Hayden LLC.
Kim Stevenson for the record. This is the second parcel by 50,949 square feet, and everything else remains the same. And this one they intend to put a box-style hangar.
Okay. Questions?
No questions?
Motion?
Is it my turn?
It's your turn.
I move that we approve development and ground lease AAL 2022-1900 for hangar development with Hangar Town Hayden and the airport.
I second the motion.
Bill Brooks,
Aye.
Commissioner Matari,
Aye.
Chair Duncan.
Aye. All right, motion passes. Item 24 and 25, I think we can kind of handle as part of one issue here. It's the termination of an MOU with the Kootenai County Regional Air Support Unit and the county, and then it's request for an updated MOU with the Kootenai County Regional Air Support Unit, and Lieutenants Sifford and Ellis are here to lead us.
Yes, just based on the termination, based on the language, we're asking to terminate this one and start a new one.
Okay. And the changes had to do with insurance and some other equipment. Is that right?
Yes, it was just addressing some of the equipment that will be used by asset forfeiture to be used for the helicopter.
Okay. Any questions?
Just one. This might be for Dave more so, but I mean, the insurance limits on that.
What's your question exactly?
Does that seem sufficient for this agreement? Yeah,
Kind of a business decision more than a legal question.
yeah,
And I suppose you can come up with a scenario where a helicopter could cause injury or damage that exceeds that
Yeah.
amount.
yeah.
To me, it's a matter of how much insurance does the county feel comfortable with being indemnified. I should also point out that the equipment that's being installed in the helicopter, I think there already is legal advice from Ben. The county is not insured through ICRIM for anything aviation related. So even though this agreement purports to indemnify the county, it's probably still a good idea. So you must county-owned property installed in an aircraft that doesn't belong to the county. The county will seek a rider from ICRIM to cover the equipment, plus any other amounts the board may think that the county is underinsured somehow. So I would advise you investigate it.
Does that preclude us from approving the agreement today?
No, I think you can still approve the agreement today based on what it purports to do. But again, I think the board should follow up with its own insurance, especially considering the equipment is already installed on. Well, I believe it's already installed
Yes.
on the helicopter.
No, the separate purchase is not installed yet.
Is there any county equipment already in the helicopter?
The radios are in there.
Okay. So considering that sounds like it's pending and it's going to happen fairly soon, I would recommend the county have insurance for any county-owned equipment before it's installed,
Yeah.
or at least at the time that it's installed. You want to kind of mitigate this.
So we can increase it afterwards, I take it then?
Well, right now we have no insurance on it. The company, our contractor, has all the insurance.
Yeah.
So we need to go get additional insurance if that's what you want to do.
Well, it's not so much that I want to do. I just want to make sure that we're thinking this through correctly. I mean, I looked at this and, I was kind of just asking, is 2 million enough for, what we're looking at doing?
ICRIM's words are, it may be a little low, but it's not unreasonable.
Yeah.
So I'm happy to look at that further if that's what you want to do.
I mean, I don't know. Bill, what do you think?
Well, I have a question. Nobody's really answered it yet. Does this helicopter have lift capabilities?
No, it does not.
What does it do different than a drone?
Well, the drone can only go up 400 feet. It can only have about 30 minutes of battery life, so it can only fly about maybe a mile, and it must be a line of sight of
That's
the
400
operator.
feet though without a pilot's license, right?
400 feet no matter what. They can't not go above 400
If you
feet.
have a license though, you can,
No, you can never go above 400 feet with a drone.
okay, from ground level.
Correct. So it can search maybe a quarter of a mile during its flight time, whereas the helicopter can search the national forest.
Okay, but can't pick anybody up.
Correct.
Because I see things saying, well, we should get this so we can rescue people from the backwoods. And they have, they go on and talk about how they can lower a basket and bring it up.
Sure. Once you get into hoist operations, the cost, I'd say it'd probably be 10 times what this program could do. The size of the helicopter to do hoist operations, tremendously more. We're talking about $1 million helicopter versus a $6 million helicopter. It's a twin engine that has to do with lift capabilities. So you're going to go from $600 an hour of operation cost to $1,200 an hour. And we just don't have, frankly, that many lifts that we have to do.
Either of the other two companies we've contracted with in the past have lift capability?
Two Bear Air does, and Spokane County does.
So we're getting rid of them.
Correct.
Okay.
All right.
Two Bear Air they're still available for us to use, though. We're not getting rid of them.
But we've never given them money as far as ahead of time. Like they're
Correct.
not on retainer kind of thing.
That is correct.
Right, like Spokane was.
Correct.
Okay. All right. So with the direction that we can look into additional insurance on our equipment, county-owned equipment, are you comfortable signing the MOU today?
I'm not trying to be difficult, I swear.
You sound uncomfortable.
I'm in my head. I'm thinking of these scenarios of where $2 million can get just blown up fast, and eventually, if it goes beyond that, someone will probably name the county in litigation. I guess it's just a matter of they could do it anyhow. So, where did the $2 million come from?
That's our standard coverage right now.
And this is
For
reviewed by
con-
Darren as well as iEquipment. They approved of it.
Yeah, and if they approved it, so I won't hold it up unless another commissioner says, maybe it's not enough. But
I just want to get the insurance as soon as possible.
Yes. And our equipment is going to be installed when?
It's an item, we just don't have the equipment we're looking to purchase. They're on a shelf. They're interreplaceable with equipment that's on there right now. It's the exact same equipment.
Okay. So why are we replacing it?
It's the modern one that we're going to be replacing it with. It's upgrading the same system, but the cables are exactly the same. They're just by quick release pins.
Okay. So this list that's in the MOU, none of this stuff, except for radios, is on there.
The radios are in there and some cabling.
Okay. But when is the other stuff going to get installed?
As soon as this is approved.
Okay. So if we can be in contact about the extra insurance that we are looking into, that would be helpful before it's completely installed and operational.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Motion?
So we're on 25.
We are on
24.
24 and 25. You have to do the termination and then the approval.
Okay.
I'll do that. I move that we terminate the MOU with Kootenai County Regional Air Support Unit with the Sheriff's Office, and also approve the MOU with the Kootenai County Regional Air Support Unit, item 25.
I second the motion.
Bill Brooks.
Aye.
Commissioner Matari.
Aye.
Chair Duncan.
Aye. Motion passes. All right, item 26, board approval request. This is for vehicle purchase, and it's our sheriff patrol unit. And Lieutenant Ellis, are you going to be leading us in this one?
I am. Thank you, Commissioner. Mark Ellis for the record. I believe it was last winter the board approved for 45 vehicles to be purchased for our patrol division to upgrade its fleet. Currently, 32 of those vehicles have been produced by Ford, and they're down in Utah being outfitted right now. Speaking to Mike White Ford, approximately 13 of them are not going to be made this year. The chances are very slim. We're also telling that for the production year next year that they most likely will not be built just due to demand. The example being Seattle PD only had 5 cars filled for their entire fleet this year. We located 11 Ford F-150 police responder vehicles down in a dealership that's already been made. They're down in Arizona right now. This would give us the true 4x4 that we need to get to the backcountry, as well as use it for command posts for our supervisors. The cost is approximately $6,200 more per vehicle for a total of about $68,400. So what we look to do is give back one of the vehicles that we originally purchased, so it'll be a total of 44 vehicles, purchase these 11 vehicles, and they can be immediately start being built. The cost between each truck is approximately $56,000 to $59,000 depending on the options. PDI is about $28,000 to outfit them, and then there's about $2,000 to put the decals on it. So we request that the board approve the purchase of the 11 F-150s from the dealership in Arizona.
Well, they look like pickup trucks.
They are. They're exactly the F-150, but the difference is they're the police model, so they have enhanced brakes.
But they're four-wheel drive.
Correct. They are true four-wheel drive.
Questions?
Just that this exceeds the original budget by how much?
It would actually be, it's going to be a net savings because we're going to get back one of the vehicles that we're
Okay.
trying to purchase, so there will be no additional cost to the county what's been approved.
Okay. And this will work for the sheriff's office?
Absolutely. We were looking to make these trucks so we have a four-wheel drive on every shift so we can actually get to them in the backcountry as well as use it for the supervisors of the command posts.
Okay. I have no other questions.
So I just want to make clear that we started with 45 approved, 32 were built, we've got 11 more now, so that is 43. So we've got one remaining outstanding that has been approved financially, but we are not going to be able to take delivery on it unless those 13 get built.
Correct. And when the bids do open up, if they do open up this year, we'll try to get the additional vehicle as well as the solid waste vehicle. We just don't know if that's going to happen this year or not. Talking to both Knissen and Mike Whiteford.
Okay. So this one vehicle is just for patrol, but then now there's an extra solid waste vehicle and then potentially 3 for a city contract.
Potentially, yes, ma'am.
Okay. Just want to be clear on that. Any other questions?
No questions.
May
Right.
I ask a question?
Sure.
So this comes up every time we're approved to purchase cars. Does the board consider this approval right now sufficient for the auditor's office to cut the necessary check in an AP batch? Or do you want them to come back again?
Do you have the purchase orders?
I do. I believe it was sent in this morning. If not, I have a copy right here.
Okay, so yeah, I don't have it in my packet if it was just sent in this morning, but if we have the purchase orders and they match the numbers in the memo, then that is sufficient for me. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, because we've got the quotes.
Okay, as long as everything comes out to the available fund balance, then we'll be good.
Yes, and that's why they're giving up one vehicle, so. Okay. And then if you would stick around, we're almost done with everything because I have something for you to sign.
Absolutely.
Okay? All right.
Okay, I move that we approve the request for vehicle purchase for the sheriff's office.
I second the motion.
Bill Brooks,
Aye.
Commissioner Matari,
Aye.
Chair Duncan,
Aye. All right, motion passes, and I think we can combine 27, 28. These are resolutions 202348 for classification of inmate records and 2023-49, which is the destruction of those same inmate records. And Sergeant Hinchy's on the phone?
Yes, Sergeant Hinchy, for the record, I'm just requesting for our yearly purge of files from jail medical classification per Idaho Code 31871.
Okay, questions, motion.
I move that we approve the resolution 2023-48 to classify records and resolution 2023-49 to destroy those records. And
Second the motion.
Bill Brooks,
Aye.
Commissioner Matari,
aye.
Chair Duncan.
Aye. All right, motion passes. And our status update, our same 2 items is facilities expansion. The group that's meeting is going to have a tour of Kootenai Electric on Thursday to talk about some moves. And then we also have a meeting scheduled on Thursday for an update from our construction manager on the next steps and what they have come up with. I'm not sure if they're having us make some changes. Caitlin, are you still on the line? We may be able to approve some changes on Thursday. I'm not 100% sure yet. So that is all for facilities. And Bill, impact fees?
Yeah, here's the letter that we're finally ready to send out, and I would like you and Bruce to look at those, not this moment, but between now and our next meeting, and approve those, or change those letters.
Okay. All right, that sounds...
We'll go out.
All right, and I've not heard any updates from the prosecutor yet on their immediate space needs. So with that, I will call for public comment. Okay, hearing none, 2:25. Thank you, everyone.